everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft. I am going to get into a process video for these 4 photos, and obviously I did a little sketchy sketch thing here, but I will also have a note here because I wanted to show you how I cut down photos so that I make sure I'm not over cutting and like cutting out important parts. Honestly, sometimes I do screw up and I make a mistake. But for the most part, I have a sort of rule that I follow when I'm cutting down photos. And I've been cutting down photos a lot in some of my layouts. So I just wanted to show you what I do because I know that's a big fear. So these are all 4x6 photos. And I think the ones I'm going to keep 4x6, I think I'm going to keep these 2 4x6 because I think this might be too hard to cut down since so much is happening on the outer edges. And these are photos of my daughter coming to. A couple toy previews with me over the summer. Obviously, she was out of school, so she came with me. And then these 2 I'm going to cut down. This is her eating McDonald's outside. And then this is us in FAO Schwarz, and Ludacris was there. This is as close as I could get to him because that store was jam-packed. Okay, so what I want to do is to try to keep these photos maybe 4x6. I might cut them down a little bit too. And then these photos, I'm thinking of doing like 3x4, okay? So in order to get to them, let's use this one because this obviously, I don't want to cut any of my daughter out. So I know that it's going to be 3x4, all right? So I'm taking this side of the photo. And here's my, if you have a ruler thing like this and you can see the numbers at the top, I've got the 3 right here. And so I know that this picture has to be 3, but I'm not just going to like cut right here and make it 3 because then I'm cutting into her arm. So I'm going to start at the halfway mark at 3.5, and I'm going to cut off that 1/2 inch along this side. All right. So that 1/2 inch is gone. Now I'm going to turn the photo and I'm going to line up the side that I just cut with the number 3. And that means I'm going to be cutting off an equal 1/2 inch on this side. Okay. So now I've got 3 inches here and my kid is still in the center of the photo. I haven't cut into her too much. Now I know I need 4. So because she's so far down to the bottom of the photo, what I'm going to do is just line the bottom of the photo up to the 4. And I can see here that it's only going to be cutting off the top of the building, which isn't that big of a deal. And I'm just going to cut that off. So now I have a 3x4 photo. Okay, so let's do the same thing using that same principle here. I'm going to line up the photo to the 3.5 mark line here so that I know I'm cutting off a 1/2 on this side. Because like, you know, do I really need this dude and the balloons? No, I don't even know who that is. And then over here, I've got this like wall thing in the way. So if I line up what I just cut onto the 3 line, I'm going to be cutting off another 1/2. And that takes away a lot of that gray wall. All right. So now we get a little bit different because the thing I want to show is in the center of the picture. So I'm going to take down here, and I know I want it to be 4. I'm not going to line it up right to just 4 because then we're cutting into the middle. So you can do the same thing. You could say, I'll cut this at the 4.5 and get all this off and then go back and cut from the 4. I think what I'm going to do is start at the 5 and cut a little bit down here. All right. So I've cut a little bit here. Let's see if I line this up to the 4. All right, so it only takes off this part up here, and you can still see a lot of the middle. So I think that'll be perfect, just like that. And I can do the same thing with these. So let's say I want these to be 3.5 by 5, just because I feel like it might be too much to have 2 4x6s together on the page. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to start from this side because there's some white space here. So 3.5 by 5. This is a 4 going across, all right? So I need to be 3.5. Here's the 3.5 line. I'm going to do to the 3/4 line. So 3 3/4 is where I'm starting, and I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm cutting to bring this over here and move it over to the 3 inch or the 3.5 inch. And I'm cutting off a little bit of the sign, but I think that's okay because obviously I don't want to cut off my kid. And now I got to do by 5. So here's the 5 line. That's a bit much. So if I take from the 5 1/4, yeah, that's fine because it still says the company name. And then I'll come into the 5 and do the other little quarter mark down here. So now I've got a 3.5 by 5 photo. So we're going to start over here. So I need this side to be 3.5. So we're going to start not at the 3.5 line, but we're going to take just a little bit off at the 3 3/4 line. All right, so taking a little bit off there, I'm going to end up moving this to the 3.5 line and taking off just a little bit more there. Okay, then I have to bring this to 5. So I've got a lot of space down at the bottom. I'm going to start at the 5.5 and take that off and then move it to the 5. Yeah, so if you just take it, if you take the photos and you just start in like small chunks, like you want it to be 3, don't just start cutting at the 3 line. See what happens if you start at the 3.5 or the 3 3/4, and try to, so that you're taking equal sides off of both photos, if that makes sense. I was hoping this would be easy. This is sort of, if you still have questions, let me know in the comments, or if you guys have like an easier way that you cut down your photos, let me know that too. Okay, so then I'm going to go do a process video for this. Okay, so thank you so much for bearing with me through that little tutorial. Basically, what it all boils down to when it comes to cropping your photos is just to start in small increments, equal increments on each side of the photo. So as I showed you, if I'm doing a 3x4 photo, I want to cut a 4x6 down to a 3x4. I'm not just going to cut right at the 3-inch mark and just be like, well, whatever I cut off, I cut off. I'm going to start at the 3.5. So I take a 1/2 inch off of one side of the photo, and then I turn the photo around and I take an equal 1/2 inch off the other side. That way things are equal. You're keeping what's in the center of your photo in the center. Obviously, if you have something that you want to, if you have a photo where the part that you want to make the main focus is like toward the left of the photo, you're going to do things a little bit differently. And then you probably could just take, 1 inch off that right-hand side because the left-hand side is what you want to keep. But for the most part, like everything in my photos is usually somewhere in the center. And so if I'm going to cut something down to a smaller size, like 3x4 or 2x3, you just got to start by taking off equal increments on both sides, top and bottom too. All right, so now we have our photos ready to go, and I'm doing kind of a thing that I remember doing with a Chamel layout, like maybe last year, and it does involve paper tearing. Oh yes. So I've got a background that's from a Recollections paper pad, and both of these pattern papers are also from a Recollections paper pad, and I'm just tearing them so that you can see, the white core of the paper showing from the tear mark. And then I'm going to layer the blue on top of the rainbow so that the rainbow is peeking out from underneath the blue, but they both have those really cool tear marks going on. And if you don't like tearing paper, give it a try because you might find that it is very satisfactory. Okay, so I've got the 2 3x4s. I'm actually going to be matting with a different pattern paper background. I think it's from Simple Stories. And then the 3.5x5 photos, I'm just leaving as is. I'm not going to mat those. I think if I do this design again, I would cut down the 4x6s, the ones that I would cut down the bigger photos to 3x4 and actually cut the smaller photos down to 2x3 because it was a little difficult to figure out the placement for having these 4 photos together on the page. I didn't want the groupings to be that close, but I still wanted the 3x4 photos to be kind of sticking out into the center, but without like touching, without it looking like it's just a big long diagonal line of photos. Like I wanted them to be their own little cluster, their own little section. So, yeah, the top photo, I just stuck it down with my double-sided tape. And then that photo I actually popped up on some foam tape. So that has a little bit of dimension there. I'm not going to do the same thing with the other 3x4 photo. I'm just going to adhere that down flat as well. So there's only going to be the one photo that has the, foam tape. And like I said earlier, if you're watching this video and you have any questions either about the photo cutting, maybe it's something that you've seen me using or something else that I've done you have a question about, just leave it down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. All right, so now I'm going through and trying to find some embellishments that go with this. Now, the paper pads that I got from Michaels, they don't come with, coordinating embellishments, all right? And if you saw my March haul, it was very Valentine's themed, and some of the stuff I'm saving for photos that I actually don't even have printed yet. But so I'm trying to find like general stuff that I can use for this layout that would fit with like the rainbows and the colors. So I am going through a lot of the Simple Stories Valentine stickers from the Heart Eyes collection. I've got my Pink Fresh Studio ones that I've been using a lot. Just they're so great for just general stuff. And then I also fussy cut from a 3x4 cut apart from one of the Recollections paper pads, that rainbow that says "Be a Rainbow in Someone's Cloud" or something like that. So I'm going to stick that down right over there. I figured that was perfect because I've got the rainbow pattern paper. I really like that heart, and I'm actually going to pop that up on some foam dots to give some extra dimension in a different location down at that bottom cluster. I put that treating myself sticker on top of the photo because, you know, it's McDonald's. You're treating yourself to McDonald's lunch. And then there's a Pink Fresh sticker that says 02, just me and you, just you and me. And I'm going to put that up at the top because this was a day out with just me and my kid. Yeah, I'm going to add some of those photo frames as well. I love using those. Those are really, really cool. And they do come in handy, again, for just general stuff to have. I really, really like the Pink Fresh collections, and I think I'm getting some more Pink Fresh in my April haul, and if I'm not, then that's sad. But stick around to the channel because the month is almost over with, and then you'll get to see all the goodies that I'm going to be playing with in April. I've kind of gotten away from doing the Chamel Best of Both Worlds kits because there have been specific items that I really wanted to use, and I just couldn't afford the things in her kit as well as the other things that I needed. So I have been watching her lives and trying to keep up with at least using her sketches as inspiration, but I haven't really been purchasing the exact things from her kit, at least not when she's purchasing them. So if you want to see what's in my April haul, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up like if it was helpful to you. Leave me a comment below. Let me know that you're here. Just say hi. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much and welcome back to the channel. I'm really hoping that I can get to 1,000 subscribers this year. I think that'd be really, really cool. So let me know, like, what can I do to make you want to subscribe or make you tell your friends about the channel? Are there specific things that you guys would like to see more of in this, on this channel? Should I do like a series of, you know, hey, I'm interested in how to use this shape, or I'm interested in seeing more 2 pages or anything else? Like, literally, let me know what you guys are interested in, and I will try to cater that content accordingly. So I'm adding in a couple Pink Fresh enamel dots. I love enamel dots. I don't remember what this is. Good Times? Is that what it says? I think so. So it's not, I mean, it has it has similar colors to some of these pattern papers and embellishments, but literally like all of this is just random. It's just like, hey, I think this can work and I'm going to put it here. I've got a chipboard frame over the photo so you can tell. I mean, not just that photo is popped up, it's a little bit more important, but I've got the frame around the person in the photo, which is ludicrous. It was a media event. Well, sort of. It was an event open to the public for the Karma's World TV show, which is on Netflix, which he helped create. And he's also the voice of the dad in it, if you didn't know. And so we went there. I went there thinking it was like a media event, but as I said, it was open to the public. And FAO Schwarz, the new store in New York, if you go there, just be prepared. It's actually very small. There's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of space to walk around the aisles. And when you have like a bajillion people inside the store, it's a bit claustrophobic and really unenjoyable. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Maybe go like right before it closes or like right when it opens. I don't know if there's a good time to go, but definitely not during an open to the public event. I'm also putting a few phrase stickers on some of the photos. Those are from the Simple Stories Heart Eyes sticker sheet. I've got my title using some Doodlebug alphas, and then I grabbed part of the border strip from the Simple Stories Heart Eyes collection just to kind of put under the title, just, you know, for something else visually interesting in the middle section there, since it is just a solid piece of pattern paper. And then my journaling is going underneath. And I'm using a Creative Memories pink pen for that one. And I do think I add some splatters to this because, of course, why wouldn't I add splatters to a layout? you can't just have enamel dots, you have to have splatters too. So I'm gonna grab, I think I grabbed my trusty Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. Here we go. Distress Oxide Speckled Lemonade, is that what it's called? I think so. That's my favorite. That's my favorite color. It really is. So yeah. The close-ups are going to follow so you can see things in a little bit more detail. As I said before, I hope that this video was helpful for you to inspire you with a little sketch and a little layout, and also to help you figure out how to crop down those big photos, because they don't always have to stay 4x6. You can make them be different sizes. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Happy scrapping!